Before we begin, thank you very much to Scrapnel for coming back to the Patreon campaign. Thank you so much for the support. Always means the world to me. Scrapnel pitched in at the highest tier, which means I owe you a request, a video. I still have a few that I can't do because I don't have access to all of my stuff. There's a couple reviews I still owe, but I don't have access to those toys yet. But for the most part, I think I'm just about caught up on everyone's requests. If I haven't, please let me know. Or if you've gotten your request and it's been a while, message me over on Patreon and hit me up for another one. I think it's about time I re-upped those. And I'll post a message about it here probably over the weekend over Patreon going, hey, all my top tiers, give it to me. Request time again. But thank you, everyone, for the generous support. We need to go over something else. San Diego Comic-Con is over, but we're still getting stuff trickling in. And this is kind of the most important thing that comes in every year. And it is the on-floor Q&A with Hasbro, where anyone just gets to ask whatever they want. And we have a full rundown of what was asked. There's some really important stuff in here. It's a pretty big list. I will try to be as brief as possible going through it. But understand, there's some things that I really want to talk about here. Okay, so first question was Gamer Edition. If it's limited to just War for Cybertron or Fall or Cybertron or all Transformer games be included? Short answer is yes. Everything is on the table if it was in a video game. They even mentioned Mystery of Convoy, which I've joked about in the past. Like now that a new Magnus is out, let's do the Rodimus colors and do like a Studio Series Mystery of Convoy box. Completely stupid, but it'd be hilarious, and they actually mention it, which is funny. They also mention the N64 Transmetals game, and if that means they actually make new Transmetal toys, please, by all means. Might mean that Starscream Waspinator Transmetal I've been dreaming about for years might actually happen. But no, they basically said they own all the stuff from those games, so they can use whatever they want. It's just a matter of what and when. Possible to re-release the Activision Transformer games to coincide. This was interesting because apparently the reason they are not available on Game Pass or anything, or available anymore in any legal means, Activision isn't sure where the files are in their hard drives. They just kind of took the game offline, buried the hard drive, and acquisition after acquisition, things get lost. The hope is that they are going to get dug through and all the files are going to get dumped from all the old hard drives with their current owners. So hopefully they show up. Let's see, to impact the Gamer Edition. Let's see. Older platforms, they had some decos we couldn't find. We had the CAD but not colored, so they had to do the research to get the colors. And apparently for Fall of Cybertron, they have all the assets, but for War for Cybertron, they had to hack the game and rip them themselves because the studio couldn't find the original files, as stated. So they just kept sending concept artwork, which didn't accurately represent the game. They needed to look at the original files. And they also kind of confirmed that what led to the Gamer Edition being created is the fact that Studio Series still sells well, and they were just running out of movie characters. So, time to find something else to do. And it's a Q from Black series that does things from the comic books, things from the video games. Okay, that makes sense to progress into those other realms that still count as a studio. And they also said that they could even expand that to be like comic book studios. So if we wanted like Marvel Edition Soundwave in the purple color scheme, which I do want, that is a thing that Studio Series can actually do. Not selects and not like a main line. All right. That's a little bit different. Okay. Let's see. Are more video game franchise collabs possible since they've done a few things like that before? They do want to. And they mentioned that they'd love to do something with Nintendo. And even mentioning they would love to do a PlayStation, but Takara did a PlayStation, so that's actually a thing. So they want that, yeah. See, and someone brought up Warframe. See, and yeah, the dream is a Transformers Pokemon crossover. Never happening, but fun to think about. See, yeah, if we have Gamer Edition expanded studio series, even more. Yeah, like any studio is on the table. That's the thing. See, Legacy. A lot of Transformers anime characters that went unmade back in the day. Omega Supreme, Constructicon, Strike. Do we actually intend to make them? Always on the table. Always on the table is basically their way of framing, like, we could make it without stating anything. It's like, it's the brand new, we can neither confirm nor deny. Like, just say, like, yeah, with potential. Yeah, we could always do that, because there's always, like, and then they do mention that Legacy is a big sandbox, and they could basically do whatever they want at that point. There's mainline characters, but they try to look at everything, and they try to pull from just about everywhere with Legacy. See, future of the line. There is a third part to Legacy. Stick around for the fall. So, okay, I guess they kind of, it kind of seems to indicate the PulseCon, which we now have a date for, is actually going to be where we see the next wave, which is most likely Legacy Universe, judging by the listings names. So wait for that. Let's see. Characters we've never seen before major shows at all. Animated Marauder Megs got dropped. I love that. Exists in a more nebulous state. Would you be able to do that? Unsure, depends on how it was created. If it was created by the studio we were working with the show, technically it should be our property, but if it's fan created or came from other outlets, that might be some creator rights we'd have to look into. So that does include things from the Allspark Almanac. So, like, Power Master Prime never, like, got to a point where, like, Hasbro may have actually owned it. It might just been in the unofficial books, or it might have been in, like, the supplementary books that Hasbro licensed, but technically don't own what actually went into them. So some things, yes. So, like, Marauder Megatron probably would be on the table because it reached the prototype stage, at least the hard proto. But it's a big answer about copyright issues and who has the rights to what, and it really depends on how it was created and what it was created for. Troop building, something you're interested in doing more of, like the TF Prime Viacons. That's always something that that they always want to do more of, and obviously they want to do more of that because collectors will buy 3 or 4 copies of a troop builded figure. You all know somebody who bought a ton of Viacons or a ton of, well, just about any generics, just to have a big army of them. Derek Wyatt had so many like animated auto troopers that when they sold his stuff off at Blast from the Past Toys in Burbank, you could get auto troopers from BotCon for like $15 a pop, just because they had so many. They just had to thin them out. My friend Aaron, my co-host from the WTF and TFW podcast over at TFW2005.com, famously had more than 24 Legion-class Viacons as a whole little tiny army. That happens. So yeah, obviously Hasbro's very big on troop building. Yeah, clearly we made Sweeper mold like 900 times, but yeah, we can make it a little bit more purple, which I've seen shots in hand of the new one. It does lean a little bit more purple. And then the head swap is something that Mark and Hisui-san came up with. So they're looking at multiple heads when they do things like that, which is cool. New complete G1 soundtrack might actually be a thing too. Okay. All right. Overall, what is the Gamer Edition fig you'd like most? This is one-on-one with Evan, by the way. Titan Triptychon or Fall of Cybertron Combaticons? Yes. I think my biggest answer when it comes to Studio Series and the game characters that I want, like, do another attempt at the Fall of Cybertron Combaticons. My God, that set needs it. I just had to put that set together again for the toy displays here at the shop because they were just too hard to keep individually. Like, I needed the space, so I had to combine them. They're not pleasant to combine. I forgot that connection system, like, makes my skin crawl and sets my nerves on, like, high alert. And the figures themselves are just, like, really thin and, like, messy. They're not really, like, up to, like, modern par with combiners. Yeah, they need another go-around. Titan Triptychon from that game would be hilarious, too. Now that Jolt is coming with Powerlinks Hotshot, the plans for the rest of the minicons as well. Talked about it before. We know Armada fans want them. We are discussing how to get them out there. It would not surprise me if they just kept getting snuck in with like extra packs for like anytime they do an Armada character. If like the Power Links repaint version comes with the minicon, just to add something extra to that lineup. We still don't know exactly how they're releasing Hot Shot, do we? Because it's an unusual size. It's not, it's a deluxe plus in its own special box. So I don't know if it was exclusive to somewhere, if it's online only. We'll see. Let's see. Will Joel get a retail release for those who can't get the exclusive set? Maybe at some point we'll do a version that goes with the retail hotshot. The one they actually have in the multi-pack does lean closer to the retail version of hotshot because it's orange. Should be red. Should really be red is what it should be to match the original hotshot. But the one that comes with the Power Links in the original was yellow. So the question is that neither one of these hotshots has an appropriate jolt just yet. All right, since Commander Armada Optimus is now out, can you tell me a full story about the Takara version? The Takara Prime was developed by a different team at Takara that doesn't work with the Hasbro toy team, so completely on Takara's end development-wise. Hasbro team asked for it, but the model couldn't be located, so the Commander toy was made from scratch. That's actually fascinating. So that like hard prototype that that got us so hyped up for the possibility of like a masterpiece Armada Optimus Prime is gone. No one even at Takara knows where it ended up. So it's like there's just like one famous photo of that thing that's been circulating around the fandom for years. And to think that thing is gone and that photo is going to be the only thing we have is kind of weird. Possibility of Siege Astro Train release without battle damage. Absolutely. May expect Astro Train to appear in Studio Series. That makes absolute sense. Yeah, to get a deco that better matches his animation look and to do away with battle damage would be great. I like any type of release that lets me get rid of the Siege battle damage from my collection. Hey, give me a Megatron already that isn't remolded from the Siege figure. How is Armada Prime sold in comparison to other commanders? From what we heard, it does keep selling out because he is a fan favorite. So good. Good indicators for Unicron trilogy stuff. I definitely feel like it has hit a nostalgia point now where it is viable because the ones who grew up with it are adults now. Some of them have kids and they kind of want to share what they grew up with their kids. And that's kind of how the circle of life goes for Transformers. Or, just trying to recapture what you grew up with, one or the other. Let's see. Lugnut won the Hall of Fame vote. Will a figure happen soon? Hope so, since he's a fan favorite. We're dipping into the animated universe. Certainly a possibility. So again, on the table, not confirming anything. Hall of Fame winners usually are a really good indicator to Hasbro of like, this is a popular character we should probably revisit. So that's a strong thing for Lugnut. They're probably got something in mind by now. Titan Nemesis seems to open the door for bigger Fembot figures. Who else would you like to do? Voyager Elita, Leader Strika. They've done Elita before at Voyager scale, but that one was a pre-tool for a Starscream, let's be honest. One of the things we'd like to do is revisit RC as a Voyager in Studio Series to compact her backpack a little better. That would be weird to pay Voyager price for something that was still the size of a deluxe on RC, but, reworked. So basically, so they have the budget to work her backpack better. I mean, I'm not entirely against that, but at the same time, we've had this discussion many times. I don't think you can be accurate to G1 RC's animation model and still make a viable, functional figure. Not at Hasbro's retail restrictions, at least. So I don't see that happening. It seems pie in the sky. I'd much rather prefer the lead of Strika, really. Will there be another version of IDW Orion packs? There are always going to be more Prime, pretty safe bet on more Orion. So yeah, we're probably going to get something akin to, we'll probably get something akin to some of his other appearances over the years. They've kind of indicated that in the past, too, when the new one came out. Will there be a Studio Series Transformers 1? Certainly counts as available for Studio Series. Yeah, it's a movie, obviously. How about a more accurate Cybertron Optimus Prime? Think so. People love Leo Breaker and Cybertron Wing Saber and their comeback gimmick, their combination gimmicks with Cybertron Optimus. And I think that would be good to revisit that. I would like to I would like to fight to make that happen. Please make that fight happen. I would love to see like Commander class Cybertron Optimus Prime, accurate design, accurate transformation, no reliance on like, oh well, he has to look like the character from the, he has to look like G1 Prime, but the core robot. Just give me a Cybertron Prime, please. I know there's a third-party one. You can calm down. I heard bad things about its QC. Let's see. A newer legacy Transformers Prime and TFA figures like Skyquake and Prowl bring more faithful to the original designs than the initial ones. It's planned to continue this. We found a good balance of styles and found that animated Prowl would look good alongside Generations 1 Prowl. And I tend to agree with that. He definitely feels like animated Prowl, but he doesn't feel out of place with the rest of the legacy stuff. So, okay, yeah, hit that note. But then again, I think Prowl is one of the more safe bets in that realm. When they start getting into things like animated Bumblebee, or yeah, if they do a Lugnut, I think that balance might be a lot harder to hit. How about a Lio Kaiser to go with Victory Saber and Death Stars? Yes, apparently we've been very vocal about wanting more of these combiners from Victory. So absolutely yes, they want to do a Road Caesar as well, or he wants to do a Road Caesar as well. So it's nice they want to dip more into Victory. I think everyone is just asking for a Lio Kaiser at this point because it is, it does seem like it's missing now that we have a Victory Saber and a Death Stars on the way. See, Evolution seems somewhat heavy on retools, repaints. It's a conscious decision. More than we thought it was the best way to do those characters. No budgetary extra constraints. It was just a plan to make them as they are. I would tend to agree with that sentiment. There's a lot of retooling going on in Evolution, but none of it feels out of place. Like, it feels like they're the right molds to use for the characters for the most part. I mean, I could find ones and nitpick to be like, oh, this feels kind of forced. But really, ultimately, like, nothing like offends me with the molds that they've reused. Just like thinking of off the top of my head. Do we plan on continuing Pretenders? We talk about a lot. We think that the way we do Pretenders is currently good. Thunderwing would be great Titan to do, either the game one or the IDW one. I don't think you do Thunderwing that big, maybe. Not a Titan. Commander, certainly. But nah, maybe a little bit too big. Will future Pretenders follow their original sizes? Perhaps. Depends on where we can make them in the line. Metal Hawk we made bigger. If we made the others that go with him, likely in scale with him. So they're talking about, that's basically just doing like the Master Force set as Voyager scale, which would be cool. It'd be better than getting like tiny little bomb burst. Transmetals. Some of you be interested in diving into more. We are, and it's more likely we have go with the spray metallics than vacuum chroming. Thank you. I've only been asking for this since 1997. How many times have I said it? How many times have I said it on this YouTube channel? Just forget the transmetalized vac metal. Just use metallic paint. That's all it takes. And it's so much more durable. And it still look really good. And that seems to be the direction that they want to go in. The fact that they have made that decision tells me that yes, they are working on transmetals right now. We know from leaks that Silverbolt is on the way. They're doing a Voyager class Silverbolt. Oh, I'm excited for that. But with that release, they really only have one other like normal looking Transformer from Beast Wars to do, and that's Quick Strike. So a deluxe Quick Strike would be cool, but after that, what do? You have to go to Transmetal to go any farther with that concept, and obviously they want to continue the Beast Wars because it's been selling really well. Alright, Polar Claw appeared in a piece of early Kingdom artwork. Obviously, he never materialized. There's a chance he could be revisited. Yes, it's possible. They had something. It was something John Warden had planned when the team transition happened. It decided release-wise it made more sense to do Voyager, Tigatron, than Polar Claw. I agree with that sentiment 100%. If we had to lose Polar Claw in order to get Tigatron, I absolutely agree with that. Okay, good. Unmade fossilizers, again, entirely possible. It's, again, possible is always the thing, because they think everything's possible. Interested in doing more toy-only characters in general. Get asked about making new characters, but there are also a lot of legacy characters to work through. And that's the balance. Because we, as fans, a lot of us are getting tired of everything being G1-centric, but there's also people who stick strictly to G1, so you gotta cater to both at the same time. Tricky. Yeah. Torka. Someone asked about Torka. Can you tell I didn't read through all of this? Someone asked about Torka. Again, possibility. It's just weird that Torka suddenly has this resurgence this year. Any plans to re-release Legacy Cosmos? We plan to release him at some point, possibly to the other Walmart exclusive molds too, and plan to see them into the main line more. So yeah, as soon as that contract is up, they know people want that Cosmos. That's going to be a thing. So if you sat on that as an investment, might want to cash in soon. Let's see. Has success of Legacy Menasor meant other combiners as easier sell? Yes. The only issue is they are a lot of work. Working on Menasor was hard on Mark, but he's looking to do more eventually. The hard part is there's a lot of the others don't lend themselves to the extra bulk the way Motormaster does to Menasor. That's how that magic happens. Not sure who else could actually work for that. Maybe Onslaught. Will we see Machine Wars stuff? Hoping we do a Machine Wars capsule. I don't see... Man, Machine Wars is so drab. Man, I mean, I think that would be a waste of a capsule. Like, they're doing, like, really weird stuff with capsules. I kind of like that better. Possibility of a Titan Predaking reissue with more swords and guns. Possible to reissue. But they would prefer... Right now, with how they've done combiners now, they would prefer to re-engineer Predaking. Interesting, because I actually thought the engineering solution on that Predaking was pretty good, but yeah, like with more experience, I'm sure they could come up with something a little bit more crowd pleasing on that one. Let's see. Overall, what legacy figures you'd like to do most? Oh man. All right. So for IDW, Pharma. Okay. Cool. G1, the Omnibots. Everyone's waiting for that trio. Yeah, they've been completely untouched. Beast Wars, Quick Strike. Fun to do in the core class. Not core class. You don't core class Quick Strike. He's got too many little bits and little fiddles, especially with his snake neck. You can't do that. You can't do that. I refuse to let you do that. Do it in the... No, Deluxe. Deluxe Quick Strike. Beast Machines. Fun to do an accurate Cheetor. And I don't want a Cheetor. No one wants a Cheetor. Jetstorm, Tankord. Viacons, please. RID 2001, Team Bullet Train or the Build Team. Definitely prefer the Build Team. We know the Bullet Trains would be popular with fans, but they didn't sell with kids, so they might be gun shy on that one. Armada for Red Alert. Makes sense, because 2 of the 3, the original trio, are in there. For Energon, Optimus Prime. For Cybertron, Megatron. Okay, so typical stuff there. New Energon, Optimus. We still have his trademark chunkiness. I mean, I would like the new figure to have good articulation, which is kind of a kind of an indicator of like, it's iconic, but we probably clean that up. We might make that a little bit more normal. Plans for mainline release being impacted by what they can accomplish with Hasbro anyway. Kind of. There's some alignment with future plans, some characters in HasLab and where they all come from. Basically, just everyone's got their own ideas, and they can only funnel through so many at once. Let's see. Rise of the Beast Primal has no faceplate. Can we get an alternate head for one? That's definitely in the cards in the future. So yeah, then they thought that he would have a mouth shown in the movie. So like that was them again working with preliminary stuff that didn't turn out. Ape Link retool. Yeah, we have to do him. We have to retool him. He wouldn't be a new mold, which makes sense because he was the model with more stuff added to him. But yeah, Ape Link looked cool. Things kind of do this. This is a longer Q&A than I thought. Oh my god, this is going to be really long. Thanks for sticking with me. We got to go through this a little bit quicker here. I wouldn't go into Studio Series, but they do think it's a fun idea to have the Rise of the Beast Maximals in their OG colors. Maybe eventually HasLab of Unicron in like 10 years, since we want to see plans for larger Rise of the Beast characters. So Stratosphere would be fun. Would be interested in doing Studio Series Titan. All right, so basically like getting to do larger toys again, and how long it's going to take to do a Unicron from the movie. Has that projects being exclusively War for Cybertron Legacy so far? Could Studio Series projects happen? It could. You want to do it with ones with more difficult engineering, licensed vehicles, triple changers, etc. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I don't think it suits Studio Series unless they had like something gigantic, like maybe like a scale, maybe a scale Devastator, but that might be it. Studio Series Commanders now exist. Have you considered redoing AOE Grimlock? Dinobots, they've talked about. Commander class would be inaccurate and would be too small. They would need to be Titans class to scale with Voyager Optimus. You're not getting that. That ain't happening. Creation of the separate Rise of the Beast mainline, Deluxe, and Voyagers. Why are the designs so different? Kid-oriented line was exclusively based on concept art we received, which was obviously far closer to how they originally looked in Beast Wars. For Studio Series, we got more defined CAD models, but they updated them in the movie, and figures were already so far in production, could not change anything. And also, I don't think Hasbro minds doing that because it leaves room for them to do it again and make more accurate versions. Does Rise of the Beast Air Razor have a robot model? They created the toy robot mode, it was not provided by this movie studio, so Air Razor was never designed to transform. Paddle, Scorn, and new Dinobots happen in after the 86 Dinobots are done. Thinks they would continue to be in Legacy, and we would need to determine more G1-ified versions of their designs. Scar, leader class Scar. That's all I ask. Let's see. What Studio Series do you like the most? For Bayverse, sizing and scale-wise, movie Ratchet needs to be Voyager class. For 86, Optimus Prime. There is no 86 Optimus yet. That would be good. Rise of the Beast. Like to do Unicron's minions like the Scorponok. Okay, that's fair. See, you'd need to do that's your troop builder right there. Would you like to do more Decepticon Commanders? Commander has been pretty Autobot heavy, and yes, they do need to balance that. Takara seems to be doing their own version of some figures again. Will this continue? Definitely something that can also happen. Again, could happen. Could lines include more waves in order to get more figs? It's possible, though we're limited by item count and shelf space at retailers. Don't know if we could get more items, certainly not off the table. What are the collabs personally you'd like to do? I'm a big Mega Man fan. And he's wearing a Mega Man pin on his lanyard. Oh my god. Don't tease me with that. Don't tease me with that. Don't tease me with the idea of like Transformers Mega Man crossover. He says he'd like to do Ride Armor, which means, yeah, he's an X fan. If you do Final Fantasy, a Chocobo, or the Hardy Daytona motorcycle, oh my god, do it in a Final Fantasy airship. You know, why not? Just make the high wind. I'm bitter to 7 at this point, but I would take a high wind. Chance for figures from the Japanese Transformers Go series. Why'd you ask for Go? He admits doesn't have a big following. Japanese Beast Wars figure like do the most. Big Convoy, Magmatron, Galvatron. Do the Galvatron. I want a new version of that toy that doesn't have GPS dragon feet. BB and Starscream would be fun. Diver as well. Okay, good polls. I like that. We're getting a little bit of dip into Japanese Beast Wars with Tasmanian Kid on the way. We'll see how that goes. Chance of a Power Rangers crossover. We get that asked all the time. The only concern there is in terms of similarity. Megazord and Transformer differences don't stand out enough internally. So basically, yeah, they feel the same and they're engineered the same, so they're not exactly sure how well that would go over. I'm still saying just like repaint Volcanicus into Megazord colors. It's really all you need to do. Will the Skybound comics be getting toys? Absolutely, but they will take a while, maybe after the first year of the comics run after the universe establishes itself. So the trick there is that they're mostly going off of G1 designs, so technically they all have toys that have been released in the last few years. We'll have to wait to see if they introduce some new characters, which undoubtedly they will eventually, and those will be the ones that end up with toys. There's been a few Transformers with large amounts of translucent plastic. Any chance of more releases like that? Well, I know clear parts would make some collector's skin crawl. You see me, Hasbro. You hear me, Hasbro. You know me. You know my gospel. I remember I was the only one against translucent plastic at a time, and more people notice this. You know what? Hang on. You know what? No. No, I've earned this. No, I've earned this. I've won today. I have won today. All right. What do we think about Mask Transformers collab? Vehicles is done as headmasters. That's actually really clever. I love that idea. Lego Transformers you would like to make. If there's an Optimus, it has to be a Megatron. Preference would be a Soundwave. A Soundwave, I think, is ideal for the Lego style because it's very blocky in nature, transformation-wise as well. What Diaclone recolor would you like to release in Legacy? Red Mirage. The Mirage mold has been through so much. Like, I just got in the G2 one. I can tell it's not held together so well over so many reuses. Good to do Powered Convoy Magnus as well. I'd love to see that out of the new mold. Next Transformers HasLab B. Well, Death Source will release this December. We're planning to start the next one this fall. So in a few months, we're going to know what the next one is for HasLab. All we know is that it's something akin to the 40th anniversary. It's something tied to that. And it is not going to be Japanese G1. So, or at least it's not going to be Victory. So that leaves us with few options. And we're really not, I think I've done videos about like guessing that one. If there was a HasLab Primus, what design or version would it be? Mark always wants to talk about Primus and doing it. Don't know if it'd be based on the Cybertron version, more based off of G1s. All right, so G1, I assume G1 in planet mode, which please have like the big chasm going in. That's always the coolest part of the G1 Cybertron. And then, yeah, probably more akin to like the earlier comic depictions of Primus. Let's see. If you want to do an entirely new color scheme for a character, what would you want? I think we need to do a stealth black Cyclonus. Okay, all right. I mean, any mold looks good in stealth black. I'm sorry, it just does. Evan worked with the person who made the Universe 2003 Silverbolt. The designer just wanted to make him purple to fill out the color roster. I mean, it's that purple that, like, it's the overuse. What color roster? There was already a purple in Universe at the Ultra scale. Okay, so just because the designer on a whim wanted to make him purple, that's why we had to get green Tidal Wave? Jeez. This year's convention exclusive was available at the Vault off-site. In previous SDCC years, Pulse Premium, granted access to concerts, etc., has Hasbro decided to focus premium event toward PulseCon rather than privileges for in-person events. They didn't forget just the best that they could do. The Ariel and Dion War Dawn 2-pack was originally planned to go to GameStop, but we brought it to SDCC for a wider release. Interesting to say that making it an exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con makes it a wider release than a nationwide chain, which will tell you a lot about the state of GameStop, I believe. It's kind of funny to think about. It's weird because this is not the only time I have heard of a SDCC exclusive being originally designed for something else. It just seems like sometimes when the SDC comes up, it's like, well, we got this lying around. Let's see. If there's a Sonic Transformer collab, which of Eggman's egg robots would you like? Wow. That's counting on him to actually know a lot of Sonic lore. Definitely want to get an Eggman standard flying ball Eggmobile. Possibly make it a pseudo headmaster and plug his other mechas into combat vehicles. That'd be an entire toy line. That's something for I think it's like, is it Jack Specific? I think it's Jazzwares that's doing the Sonic toys right now. That's something for them to figure out. I don't think that suits Transformers. Would Titan Wave come from the Titan Nemesis mold? No, there was never a plan to retool Nemesis into Tidal Wave. For all those people who look at those 4 guns on Nemesis's chest and go, this is obviously going to be a retooled into tidal wave at some point. Ha. Silly idea. But people thought it. People genuinely did think it. Will there be more figs that can transform into weapons for Titans to wield? Possible. We haven't done one since Black Zarak did 6 gun from Metroplex. On that note, I think we need to do a new Metroplex so he can have ankle articulation. I love that it's not the fact that it's so like separated from its G1 design and it's just such its own original thing. I kept thinking it was a Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. It's not. It's like a hyper detailed version of the original Metroplex, but a lot of the shapes on the toy have changed. So it's not quite G1-y. So yeah, I would agree with a new Titan Metroplex, though I love the idea that they would release a brand new Titan class for Metro just because they want ankle tilt on him. That amuses me. And okay, and that is it. So ooh man, it's a long video. That was a long video, but there's a ton of information to glean from that discussion. Not only stuff that they have in the works, why some stuff got cut from release, how possible certain things are, why things are the way they are at the moment. Lots of this stuff is like really great referential down the line, especially when this stuff starts coming out. So always great to have these Q&A things. And it's part of the stuff about SDCC I enjoy the most because it gives us like a lot more info than just here's a bunch of toys that had already leaked months ago. So this has a lot, obviously has a lot. We're like over half an hour in. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you gleaned something from this. Hope my insight gave something to the list. But thank you everyone. I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.